How's it going, everybody? David with On the Roam again. And in today's video, we're gonna be doing a little DIY project. It's something that I've been thinking about. It's been in my head and I was like, should I do this? Should I not? I had all the parts in my Amazon cart ready to pull the trigger, and then I haven't done it. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna make a video for you guys. And if this works for you guys, that'd be great. And then you guys could build your own. So basically what I'm building is a fuse box that will be plugged into the Blue Eddy. So I'll have the Blue Eddy in the vehicle where it sits, has a specific spot where it sits, and I strap it down. Instead of moving the Blue Eddy around, like if I want to run the diesel heater in the back of Allison's truck, if we take her tent, I don't have to move that over to her truck just to get the cord to reach. So we'll build this fuse box, we'll put accessories in it, and then we'll make a cord that goes from this fuse box all the way to the Blue Eddy, and then you can use this fuse box to, you know, do whatever you want with it. Like you could put little lights, little switches, you know, things like that. So hopefully this video works out. And I haven't even started building this, so you guys are gonna build it with me. So hopefully it works. Keep our fingers crossed. Yeah, so I hope you enjoy this video, and let's get into it. All right, everyone. So I just want to start off by saying how I came up with this idea, and I'll make it quick. But I originally made this cord that, you know, this is the end that plugs into like the 20 amp, 30 amp connector on the Blue Eddy, and everybody's power bank's going to be different. But so I made this cord with one of these XT90s on the end of it to where I could change out these ends, and I made this end here, which is a XT90 end. And then it has the plug-in that goes into the diesel heater. It actually works for the my ice coat refrigerator as well. So I made this cord, and then I was like, you know what? I can make different ends for whatever I want to use. If I want to, you know, string this out to run the diesel heater in the back of Allison's truck or what have you. And then I started thinking about it. I'm like, well, the cord's nice because I'll probably end up using this cord to power the box up. But instead of making a bunch of these, or, you know, if I want to do other things, that's where I came into the idea of making this fuse box. So I'm just going to go over a couple things that that I ordered, and then I might make another one of these. Sorry I didn't make this with you guys. It was kind of a pain in the butt because you have to get inside here and solder it and what have you. But I might make another one, so you'll know in the video if we do. But so let's go over a couple things that I ordered. So I ordered one of these. I'm not sure the brand name in there, and like I said, I'll leave the link in the description below. But so basically what it is, it has an on-off here that will power up all these connectors here. It has a voltage reader here, so you can read the voltage on it. It has a USB-C and a USB charger on the bottom. I love USB-C and USB chargers because I use them all the time to charge things, obviously. And then it has just a regular standard 12 volt cigarette lighter, you know, on this side here. And what's nice about it, it's already wired on the back here. So you got your positive and negative here. And if you wanted to, you know, you could wire all this up yourself and buy separate ones. I was just trying to keep it simple. So basically what I'll do is I'll mount that on the lid here, probably somewhere at the top like that. And then I got this little switch panel here, and it's made by Nightlight, I guess. And this says it's marine, so hopefully it's waterproof. But anyway, so yeah, and then I'll probably mount this down low here on the right side, and I'll probably just leave this space open for anything else that I decide to put inside here. And basically what this will be two switches here so that we can turn on LED lighting. So if you have any LED lighting in the back of your overland truck, or, you know, that you want to power up, you could, you know, plug it in here, and then we'll put some little plugs on the end, and I'll get into those here in just a second, where you'll be able to make, you know, little cords that run to your LED lighting. And you can also mount this box like stationary somewhere, like say like you got the Blue Eddy like in a van or something, and you know it's like somewhere over there, you can put this box like in the back, like in your living cooking quarters. So this could work in other areas as well. But anyway, so yeah, we'll put this down there. You'll be able to turn lights on, off. And then over here, you got another set of USB and USB-C ports on this side. So I was just thinking of things that I use the most. Obviously the 12 volt plug, USB, USB-Cs, and then 2 switches to power up any kind of lighting. It doesn't seem like a lot. I should have bought maybe like another one, but we could always wire another switch somewhere else if we want to add more lighting. So that's the nice thing about this is with the fuse block that we bought, we got 6 circuits here. So we can run up to 6 different things on this fuse block. And this goes all the way up to 30 amps. So this should be plenty enough for your diesel heater on startup. And then we're gonna mount that inside this box. So this is the lid here. So we'll probably put all our accessories on the lid. And you could put your accessories wherever you want. If you want to put some here, I probably wouldn't recommend it because it looks like the strut of the box is, the structural part is on these screws here. So I probably, recommend mounting everything on the lid. And then probably leaving a little bit extra wire just so that you could, take this lid on and off like that. But inside the box it comes with this little weather strip that goes around the lid. So it's watertight. And then, so I was thinking about it. I'm like, okay, so I want to mount this fuse block in here. Okay, how am I going to mount that? I didn't really want to drill holes in the back of this. I mean, I could have and like silicone them. But inside here, I noticed there's these little tapped inserts here for screws, and it's the same thread pitch as this. I don't know what this is, like 1/4 who knows. But they thread inside here, so I'm like, okay, you know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut a little piece of like 3/8 plywood out all the way on the back side of this, and then I'm gonna get some extra screws, and I'm just gonna mount the plywood to the back of this box, so that way we can keep it all organized. So we can mount the fuse block here, screw it in, and then we can just, tie the wires around, use little, connect wire grommets, whatever you wanna call them, and keep everything nice and clean. And then back to this switch thing, I ordered these little DC plugs. You could basically, they have a little nut on the back of them. So we'll drill little holes below the switches here to where we'll have, little ends right here, so this will turn on and off the lighting that you choose to do. The only thing is if whatever lighting you have, you might, you're gonna have to cut the end off of that LED light and wire in one of these connectors to plug it in to power it up, which is probably what I'll do. And I'll just have a couple accessory stuff, to work with this. And then we also got these XT90 plug-ins. So this will be the one that actually powers this box up. And I was thinking about cutting it on the side here. So the wire's coming in here from the Blue Eddy going into the side of this box. I don't think I want to put it on the top because I think the cord going in the top, like if you set this flat, like the cord going in top is kind of, a nuisance. I'd rather just have it like this. I mean, although you could stand this thing up if you wanted to. I mean, it all depends on where you mount this thing as well. So I'll probably put this on the side. And then this is the same connector that goes for the XT90. I want to call this the female end, but for some reason it looks like the male end because the inside, but I'm gonna call this the female, I'm gonna call this the male. And then this goes, plugs into there. So this will power up this connector here. But anywho, so this will go on the side, and then I ordered another one right here. So basically what I'll have is, I'll have this power going in to the box, that powers up the box. And then I'll have another one of these, the same as this one, on the other end, that'll go to a 30 amp fuse inside the fuse box. And we're gonna go through this whole thing, and we're gonna build it to where I can have this box here. You can plug all your other accessories and use that. And then on the other end, if you wanna plug the diesel heater into here, you can run a cord to there. So I'll have this cord powering up the box, and then I'll have another however long cord I decide to, which I bought here, another length of cord to power up the diesel heater or refrigerator or whatever's in the 20, 30 amp range on this side. So that's the plan. Did order some of these 200 piece heat shrink wire heat shrinks They have the glue in them, you know, so that'll work for that. Yeah, so let's get into building this. I think the first thing that we want to do is I'm going to cut this plywood out first and get that in there, and then we'll mount the fuse box in there. Actually, no, we probably won't do that. The first thing we're going to do is cut in anything that we need to cut into the side of this, and then we'll put the fuse box in there. So let's do that first. All right, everyone, so I got my little cardboard cutout that I made that fits inside here. I measured it to double check. It's 6 7/8 on the shorter end, the width side, and it's 10 inches on the longer side, the length there. So basically, I just measured this out, and I made it squared it up so it fits in there nice and snug. Remember, you want to make sure it fits on the length side, the most important because of the little nut inserts there. And then I just took these little radiuses and I traced them out, and I took a 19mm socket and I set it on there and I traced them out. So now I'm just gonna cut this piece of plywood out with my little skill saw, and then I'll just take a little jigsaw and I'll cut these little radiuses out, and then we'll place it in there and see if it fits. All right, everyone, so I got the piece of plywood cut out. I ended up radiusing these two, and then I just kind of 45'd the corners. It was kind of a pain in the butt to try and drill the circle on the corners. I even kind of had a hard time doing those. So it's not the prettiest, but whatever, it's just going in the bottom of it. So it fits in there just like that, as you can see. So now the only thing we have to do is try and mark these little holes, or the little nut inserts here, so that we can screw them down. And I went to Ace Hardware and I found the size that fits inside that nut insert, and it was a 6-32. And I think I got two different sizes. I got a 1/2 inch, and I got a 3/4, because I wasn't sure, you know, because I don't want to bottom out and then have it bust through the back of this plastic. So I just got two different sizes just in case, you know, whatever one works the best. So we're gonna do that. I think how I'm gonna mark these is put some like paint on them, like just with a paint marker, and then I'll set this down and hopefully it transfers the mark over. So let's do that right now. All right, so I got this little paint marker here that I usually use for like marking bolts and stuff on the 4Runner. So I'm just gonna take this and I'm just gonna mark it on here all the way around this whole bolt. Get a nice thick coat on it, like so, just like that. And then hurry up and set this thing in there. I don't think it's gonna dry that fast, but you never know. So we're gonna set this down in here as flat as possible and drop it down. And then we'll just push those down onto that paint, and hopefully we get some marks. And we didn't, so let's try that again. I think I need to put a little bit more paint on there. Stuff does kind of dry fast, so gotta be kind of quick with it. Really push down on it. Okay, let's see if that did it. All right, there you go. So it marked it. So now I know where the center of the hole is there. And then we'll just drill those out and we'll bolt this thing down. I grabbed a 3/16 drill bit here, and that should do the trick. Just a little bit bigger than the screw that we're gonna be using. I'm just gonna drill it out. The other side, same thing on this side. All right, cool. All right, so we got that drilled out. Now we don't need this block anymore. Get this out of the way. And now we got our little box here. Just gonna set this inside here. And it looks like they line up pretty good. All right, so another thing I was gonna do, I was thinking about just putting a couple dabs of silicone right here, just to kind of hold it, because those, you know, that is the only two mounting spots, are just those two. So I'll probably put a couple dabs of silicone down there, and then we know this thing won't ever come off. So let's do that right now. All right, so I just got some black silicone, just regular high temp silicone from, you know, for autos kind of deal. I'm just gonna put a couple good little globs on there. Put a couple there. That should probably do it. All right, let's put this thing in here. Shove that down in there, and then we'll take these screws. I think I'm gonna start with the shorter ones, these 1/2 inch ones first. And it looks like it's just a little Phillips head here. And see how that does. See if it reaches. Yeah, looks like it reaches pretty good. Let's do the other side. Kind of have to push down on it a little bit. This board's a little bit warped. There you go. Yeah, it's tightening up well. Okay. So, I got those in there like that. Put the screws in there. We got a couple dabs of silicone on there, just to kind of hold it down. And I'm gonna tighten just a little bit more. Just like that. Okay, cool. So we got the plywood in there. Now, now that I got that plywood in there, I'm gonna measure up right here, or, you know, measure this distance here, and then that'll kind of give me an idea where to cut in that power source, the one that's going to power this up, and then we'll cut in, well, we'll probably cut that one in, see how we're going to run it, and see where we need to put the fuse block. Then we'll kind of mount that in there. We'll kind of set some stuff in there to kind of see, you know, where we want to put everything. So let's do that. We'll measure this, and then we'll cut that out. All right, so let's open up this fuse block, and we'll set it in there. Remember, this is the 6-circuit fuse block, rated up to 30 amps, so that we can run the diesel heater off it as well. Okay, so you got this fuse block here, and it looks like you just kind of, see, how do you open this thing? Oh, you just kind of go like that, and the lid comes off of it like so. And then it's got 4 little mounting spots here, so we can screw it to the plywood. And then you got your negative and your positive, and then you got all your, obviously all your positives and your negatives and your positives down here. So all our negative wires will go into here, all of our positive wires will go over here. And obviously, if you have, you know, all 6, you would have this whole thing filled up. So anywho, that's that. Now we just got to figure out where we want to mount it. And I was thinking of mounting it. Let's see. So I put it there, and then we get this power cord, the one that's going to power it up. I'm thinking maybe let's put it over here on this side. And then this will get cut into the side of here, and that should be pretty good. Maybe we want to give ourselves a little bit of room. We don't want to be too tight against the side here, so that, you know, we can get wires, you know, in there and, you know, screw it around. So I think maybe put it on the side there like that. We could always move it if it's in the way, you know, it's no big deal. And then we'll put this in here, and then I do want to cut this, and I want to put a fusible link on this. So that way this is coming from the Blue Eddy, this is fused inside here before it actually goes to the fuse block. You don't have to do that. I think I'm going to do it just because. And I'm no electrician, you know, and so you guys can make your own call. You know, you can do it however you want. You can just run this straight to that fuse block if you want to. So let's do that. I'm gonna mark this out. I'm gonna screw this in here and see how it goes. So did it come with any, didn't come with any screws. I did pick up some screws just for screwing things in. And I got these 3/8. So we know those aren't gonna work because this looks like it's about, I don't know, 1/2 inch thick. And then we got, what else I got? I got some 1/2 inch screws here. those probably won't work. So I need to find some longer screws. So let me go find some longer screws and then we can screw this thing down. All right, so I found some screws that we're gonna use here. They're probably about like, I don't know, an inch long. And then I got some little washers. I think I'm gonna, well, these washers don't seem to, maybe I won't use the washers on there. But anyway, so I got some screws. And then I started thinking about it. I think I'm gonna put the fuse block like that. Because I was like, okay, this thing has, you know, a bunch of wires on the back of it, and look how deep that is. I wanna make sure that when I put the lid on there, this doesn't hit the fuse block. So I think I'm gonna put the fuse block down there like that. This thing will sit like this. And then these switches will kind of sit over here like that. So it'll be something like that. So that's what we're gonna do now. And I'm gonna put the positive side over here on this side because I'm gonna end up cutting that positive wire anyways. So I need to make it longer, and then the negatives should just reach there without having to cut the negative cord on here. So once we screw that in there, the negative can go straight to this part, and then this will have that fusible link where we'll attach it to that positive there. So, you know, we gotta cut that wire anyways and make it longer. So that's what we're gonna do. So let's screw this thing down. I think I'm just gonna throw the washers on there with it. Kind of move it over as far as we can get it. Probably like right there. Just like that. I'll do another one. I don't want to go too tight, you know, it's just plastic. All right, so we got that on there. Let's do another one here. And one more. All right, guys, I ended up taking those screws back out. They were really soft, and one of them broke off, so I had to pull it out. So I'm not gonna use those. I just found some of these 1-inch drywall screws, and these things work good for everything. I always use these things to screw things down, so I'm just gonna use those. Simple, don't even need the washer. You know they won't break, so. Put those on there like so. All right, so we got it all screwed down. Now let's mark out this power cord and put that in there. All right, so I got it all marked out to cut this power cord in. And basically, I just took my center of the whole box, so it's 7 1/4. So the center of that would be 3 5/8. And I marked that across the center here. And then I measured this, and this is about 1 1/8 inches. So from that center, I just went 9/16, almost on both sides. You can go 5/8, 5/8 probably be fine. That's probably what I'll do, just give it a little bit more room. So you got the 5/8, 5/8, and then on the width of it, I just went 3/4 on the width here. So got it all marked out. And now we're just gonna cut it out real quick. So I'm gonna probably cut it out with the multi-tool. So I gotta grab that and see if I have a good blade. All right, so I grabbed this multi-tool. The blade is about 1 inch. The blade's almost 1 1/4 inches, so I can almost bury it on the length. I might have to drop it in to get the 3/4 side. So let's cut this out real quick. Let's cut the top. and then we'll cut the sides. Kind of hard to cut the sides. And we'll cut the other side. You can put this in a vise too, I'm just being lazy. All right, push that out of there. Hopefully we don't have to trim any off. Grab a little file so we can clean it up a little bit. All right, see if it fits in there. Perfect, just like that. And like I said, we're gonna run those cords into there, clean that out. All right, so that looks like it fits pretty good, right? What do you guys think? It's pretty good, and then we'll screw it. So it did come with some screws, this did, but they're just like regular, you know, machine screws, and I don't really want the thread sticking out. So I'm just gonna actually bolt this through, and I got some 832s with some nuts, and we'll just drill those out. And we'll run actual bolts in there so it looks clean on the inside. You don't have these screws sticking out where you poke yourself. All right, so let's do that. All right, so we got that all drilled out, nice and clean. I just kind of cleaned it up a little bit with a round file. So we'll put this back in there, like so. Drop it in there. And then we'll grab these little 832s, 1/2-inch screws. I did have some other ones. Oh, they're all the same anyways. Okay, yeah, so we'll grab some of these. And we'll throw a couple in there. All right, where's the scissors at? I'll throw a couple of these guys in there. Like that, bam. Bam, if you guys can see that. Pretty simple, I mean, it's not, you know exactly what I'm doing. I don't know if you care to see all this, but, and then I'm just gonna grab the nuts, obviously, and I'm gonna thread it on the back. If I can get my fingers in there. All right, so we got that done. Looks pretty clean, don't you think? Got the screws in there. I did notice though, when you mark this out, you might want to go a little bit more towards the top because I barely made it right here on top of this plywood, as you can see. So to save you, you know, from, I mean, it made it. It wasn't a pain, but you know, if you want to just go up just a little bit, but anyways, that looks pretty clean. So I think the next thing I want to do is get the other one in there. And well, I think we're gonna have to put it probably on this side because obviously there's no, I mean, we could put it here. I think I'm gonna put it on this side. So you got, well, actually, you know what? Maybe, what do you guys think? So this would be the power going in. Maybe we'll put it up here so we don't get confused which one's in and which one's out. And we can always mark it, you know, right here on the outside of the box. But yeah, maybe we'll put it up here. All right, so I ended up deciding to put it right here on the lid. That way everything, you know, all the accessories or anything you want to plug in will just be on the lid. I think that makes sense. So when I get confused, I mean, it's not a big deal, but that's how I did it. And I marked all the other stuff too. So I marked this out up here. I marked the switches out. They'll go right there. And then I obviously just marked this out, which will sit kind of right next to the switches there. Okay, so I'm gonna cut all this out. I'm not gonna bore you with that. So let's get into that right now. All right, so we got it all cut out. Took the file around it, cleaned it up a little bit. So let's just see how it fits. So we're gonna put this top one up here. Fits in there pretty good. And then the switches are gonna go down here, like we said. Fits in there pretty good. And then we got the plug for the diesel heater, the XT90, and we'll probably put it just like that. So that's kind of what we got set up there. I just got to drill all the holes and mount them. And I probably will put like silicone RTV just around, you know, all these connections, even the one that goes into the side of the box for the power, just so it's, you know, watertight, you know, to a certain extent. You know, obviously you're not going to submerge this thing in the water, but yeah, so I'm going to drill all those holes and put the bolts in there, and then we will start wiring this thing up. All right, so I'm just gonna put all these screws, these little bolts in here. I did add one to the middle of this just because there's kind of a gap. I know it doesn't look the prettiest, but I could probably countersink it later. I just wanted to keep it flat and nice and tight, so that way when I go to silicone this, you know, you can get any water or moisture in there. So we're almost getting wrapped up here. I'm just putting these nuts on the back side of here. All right, everyone, so we got it all done. We got the rocker switch here. We got the diesel heater plug, or 20, 30 amp plug there. And then we got our little, you know, on off for the 12 volt cigarette lighter, and then the USB stuff. So the only thing we have left to do is drill in these two things for the LED lighting here. You guys can see where I'm going to put these. So basically comes with, let's see if I can get this thing open. Comes with a bunch of like male ends, and then it comes with a bunch of these female ends that we're going to put underneath these switches. And then it comes with kind of like a little watertight O-ring kind of deal you can plug it off, you know, cap it off with, and then these nuts. So these are going to go right underneath the rocker switch on each switch, and then this will be the wire that will wire into our LED lighting, you know, whatever that is. So if you have other lighting, like I said before, you might have to cut them and, you know, put these on there. Or you could do it however you want. You could hardwire it into this thing too. If it's like, you know, if you mount this in the back of your truck instead of in a box or something, you have a piece of plywood, or in your van or whatever, you would just run, you know, this wire straight to the fuse box or a fuse block in there, and then you just do way of, you know, probably this. I mean, you can still do the switch and stuff, but yeah, so let's do that, drill those out and put those in there. There it goes. All right, cool. So we got that all done. Now we just got to stick these little guys in there. Bink. Ooh, let's see. Oh man, that's kind of tight. That is a little tight. You might have to go a little bit bigger. Yeah, I thought 3/8 was gonna do it. Let me see this other side. Yeah, it's a little tight. So, I don't know, let me see if I have 7/16 drill bit. Either that, or I can kind of wall it out with this. It is just plastic. See if that did anything. Got better. Let me try that again. It seems to be working. I mean, we do want it tight. Yeah, that's working. Let me do that one more time. I mean, you could probably get the right bit. You don't have to do it that way. There you go. It fits perfect. Man, they don't give you much on the end. There's got to be a, oh, there's a little, looks like there's a little, or maybe you put, no, they don't give you much to, yeah, don't screw that up. There's not a lot of meat on that side for that. So, all right, let's put this guy together here. Dump these out. Sorry, my table's getting a little messy here. Oh well, it is what it is. All right, so it comes with these little rubber covers, stoppers, whatever you want to call it, that just slide onto here like this, I think. Yeah. And then they obviously, you know, slide all the way to the top here. They'll probably end up falling off, I bet. But anyways, we'll try to use them if we can. And then they, you know, cap off, you know, the end of it. Put that in there like that. And then all we got to do is put, looks like there's a lock washer that goes on there. And then the nut. So just like that. Lock washer, nut. And screw that bad boy down. I'll tighten all this stuff up later after I get everything all in there. Okay, so there it is. Obviously, I'll have to make sure this little guy's straight. Like so. And then it just goes like that. All right, so we got one in there. So basically, you just open that up. You'll take your light source, you'll plug it into here, like this, and bam, you can turn it on and off. And like I said, you could hardwire it too, but I thought this was pretty cool because the way I'm going to be using this is this ain't going to be stationary anywhere. So I'll just take this whole box with me. I'll throw it wherever I want, and then I'll just plug stuff into it. But yeah, all right, so let's put the other one on. Alrighty, so I split these two wires. So this negative black wire is going to go to the negative side of the fuse box here. And then this red wire obviously is the positive, and then that's going to go to the positive part of the fuse box here. I was going to put an inline fuse in here, but it doesn't make any sense to. I'll be using this on my Blue Eddy, and I might use it on an external battery too if I end up putting one in the back of Allison's truck. So if I end up doing that, I'll probably put a fusible link closer to the battery, you know, before it gets to here. So not really worried about that. Most power bank systems have their own fuse, or they'll throw a code or something if something's wrong. So for now, I'm just going to do it this way. And if I do choose to later, I could always add it here. So no big deal. Because I was going to put this 30 amp one in here, but this is a 10 amp wire, or a 10 gauge wire, and this is only I think a 12. So I don't want to go from big to small. I'm just being weird. And like I said, do your own research on how you want to do this. So let's get into that. I'm going to cut this wire, and then I'm going to put this round end on it. You could use the half circle ones. I'm going to use a full round so we don't have any problems with it coming off. All right, so I threw a little, sorry guys, getting a little messy here. I threw a little clamp down right here to clamp this wire down, so I'm just going to screw that down right now. I got a little 3/8 screw, little clamp, just to kind of hold this wire. I'm moving around. Just like that. Giddy bam. Looking good. Okay, so now that we got that all done, all we have to do now is start wiring up all this stuff. So basically on the back side here, we got a positive and a negative here for this row here. And then this will power up all this down here. So I'm just gonna run, I'm gonna pick one of these fusible, you know, one of these fuses. Maybe I'll do number 1, and then we'll put the positive there, and then we can just throw our negative on this side here. And then same thing goes for, you know, the second one, the switches. But with the switches, we'll run power to them. So these will go to a fuse, and then this black and this red will have to go to a negative because they don't actually give you a negative here. So we'll put this power here on each one of these switches like this. And then we'll just have to find a negative somewhere. Maybe we'll throw, you know, a whip off of one of these negatives here and just tie it in here so these are grounded to that. And then these will go to the ground there as well. So, and then all we have left is to do this 30 amp. So basically using 2 fuses and then another fuse for that 30 amp diesel heater thing. So let's do that. And I got to make sure that I keep enough wire. I mean, obviously this one's going to be about like that, so that should be enough to open it, and we'll just have to fold that down and just make sure we have enough wire. So maybe I'll just kind of set it like this while I build it, so we know that we have enough wire to open the lid. All right. All right, guys, so I'd have to say the hardest part of this whole thing is the wire, trying to get the lid on there. I screwed up. I shouldn't have put this, the diesel 30 amp right there. I should have just ran it in the side. So if you do yours, put it in the side. I had to cut a little bit of the yellow off, and then I just sealed it back down. I didn't disturb the wires at all or anything. I was just trying to get a little bit more depth because it's like super tight against the fuse box there. Yeah, so basically it's pretty simple. I just ran the red wire to one side of the positive over here to this 30 amp, and then the black one over here to the negative side. And then with this section up here, I just ran it down positive over to here, and then a negative to here. And then with this section, same thing, I just ran positive over here and negative over here. So basically just run all your red wires to each one of your things, to whatever fuse you want to, and then all your negatives just go on these buses here. It doesn't matter where you put them. I ended up using some of that heat shrink for, you know, like a wire loom to kind of hold these. So, I mean, I don't know, I'm kind of thinking maybe I should have got like a little bit deeper box. That might help out a little bit better. But in my mind, I was thinking small, compact, you know. So you could use this box, and like I said, I'll put all these, everything in the a link in the description down below. But do your judgment. Everything worked out fine until I got to closing the lid, and I knew that was going to be a problem from the very beginning, because I knew it was tight, and I was making sure of that by, you know, orienting all these things. And then I screwed up here. Not a big deal. I mean, I could order a new box and just get another lid and just, you know, put this on the side or somewhere out of the way of the fuse block. That's really the only thing. Other than that, everything else is working out pretty good. So yeah, just make sure you get yourself enough wire, so you can go around. You know, you just have enough wire to like push things around and get stuff, you know, moved around so that you can close this lid. I'd say that's probably like the hardest part, is just closing the lid. But once you get all the wires adjusted, you know, you close the lid like that, and then we'll put the screws in there and see how it works. I don't know, should I test it with the lid open? Probably should, just make sure everything works, but yeah, whatever. It is what it is. We will see if it works. Let's put these screws in there. I probably won't put all the screws in there. Just a couple to hold it. All right, so there it is. There's the finished box. I think it turned out pretty cool. All we gotta do now is go get the Blue Eddy and plug it in and see if it works. So let's do that right now. Let me clean up some of this mess here. I know some of you guys are probably like, oh, look at that mess he has. But it is what it is. I was just trying to get this video done for you guys. And yeah, so let me go get that Blue Eddy and we'll test it out. All right, everyone. So we basically got everything hooked up. All we got to do is turn the Blue Eddy on, plug in our power cord. On this Blue Eddy, it's a 25 amp circuit. That's what I use to run my diesel heater, and that's why I made this cord. So I have the full amperage to run the diesel heater. We're going to turn DC on. on the screen. We're gonna plug in our XT90 into our power box here. Should power up, there it is. Remember, you could turn this on and off. So it looks like we're getting 13.3, 13.5 down there. I don't know why they're reading, I guess they're reading about the same. And then I have made these little makeshift lights just for demonstration. So we got this little LED light here, we'll plug in down here. Then we'll turn it on. So you can run those lights around your truck, wherever you want to do. If you have a van, you could run lights wherever you want. And remember, this box, you don't have to build a box. You could build a panel if you have a van or anything you want, but I did a box because I want to be able to move it around and stuff. All right, so we'll turn that off. And then I have another little makeshift LED light strip that I made a long time ago. We'll see if that works. There you go. So the LED lights are working. Turn them on and off. Works great. And then you got your little USB-C, USB ports here. Looks like that's getting power. Then we got our little 12-volt cigarette lighter up here. We'll have to test that out later. I could probably test it out with the multimeter. I'm sure it works because this is all powered up. But anyway, so the main thing is I want to test the diesel heater. So I did make a cord that has a XT90. Put it up here so you guys can see it. It has an XT90 and an XT90. I guess it would be a female or male end, I can't remember. Whatever one plugs into here. I'm gonna call it the female. I might have called it a male earlier, but all you electricians are probably laughing at me going, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Anyway, so now I should be able to plug this into here and plug this into the diesel heater. So let's go over to here to the diesel heater and see if this cord reaches. If not, we'll move the power box closer, which we might just do. Unplug these little lights here. And let's just move this box down here on the ground, and then we're gonna plug it in to our diesel heater. Oh, sorry, I gotta grab the cord. I forgot I made this cord that I use for the refrigerator, which is basically the same plug for the diesel heater. So we'll plug that in right here. And then we'll just plug in, bear with me guys, I'm trying to do this with the camera. We'll just plug this in right here, like so. And it looks like we got power. Oops, sorry. It looks like we got power to there. So let's see, it says on, start heating. This is the main thing right here, guys, is if this thing fires up. So let's see what we got going on here. So we got 130, 125 watts going to the diesel heater. 85 watts, 100 watts. Okay, so it looks like it's working. We got the power going down, power going into the box, coming out of our diesel port here. 12 volts, 14 volts, 12 volts. It's kind of jumping around a little bit, obviously because we're pulling power from the fuse block. And then we got the cord running all the way over to the diesel heater. And then we'll see if she fires up. Usually takes a while to fire up, but we will know as soon as that little exhaust port starts pumping. So hang tight, guys. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's firing up. Let's see if I can get the mic over here. You can hear it firing up. Let's go over here, see what we're pulling for wattage. 120, 118, 120, 118. Looks like it's working. She's going, guys. Oh yeah, she's getting warm. So that cord works. Everything works. Going to my power box here. Going up, like I showed you, into the Blue Eddy. and now we're only pulling 26 watts, 40 watts. So once a diesel heater starts dropping down in temperature, or not dropping in temperature, but once it gets going, it doesn't use as much the voltage as on the initial fire up. So that was one of the big things that I was trying to accomplish here, so that I could put this diesel heater in the back of Allison's truck, run this cord in this box in the back of her truck, sorry for the mess guys, and then have the Blue Eddy stay in the back of the vehicle. And there it is, it's done. I could hear it already kicked down. And now it's only running off of, you know, whatever the setting is I have on here. I think I have it on level 1 minimum. That's about what I usually run it on anyways. Otherwise it just gets too hot. And she's warm. Cool. And we're running 9 watts. Cool. All right, everyone, so that does it for this video. Seemed like it worked out pretty good. And you know, I built this with you guys. It's not like I built it and I tested it out, you know. But everything seemed to work out pretty good the way I planned it in my head. I'll try to do more videos like this if I, you know, can think of anything that's, you know, cool to build like this while I'm not like off-roading or overlanding for you guys. But yeah, so give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed. Like I said, I don't post a lot of videos. I try to, but with work, you know, it's tough. But when I do come across these type of videos, I like to make them for you guys. So stay tuned and we'll come out with another video shortly.